Hey everybody, welcome to the Delivery Driver Pit Stop. My name is Michael, I'm your host. I hope everybody's having a great Saturday out there. A very, very special Saturday out there because today is leap year day. Every 4 years, leap year. So if anybody was born today, lucky enough to be born today, you just take you take your age and you divide by 4. So you're not really as old as your birthday says you are. Anyway, I wanted to do a video today because, when I do videos, I like to think a little bit about it before I do the videos. I don't usually like to do videos off the cuff unless they're breaking news, like last night's breaking news with the GrubHub Plus. A few days ago, I released a video about how the coronavirus may affect DoorDashes and GrubHubs and all these companies that do home delivery, how it will affect their business in I thought, a positive way. I put a lot of thought into it. I put myself out there. I risked, being flamed to hell and back, and I was flamed. I had to remove many comments. I got some nasty emails saying that I shouldn't relate the two, and et cetera, et cetera. But I thought it was a very important point that I needed to make. I wanted to make about how, this eventually will affect our industry as, in the gig economy. And lo and behold, one day after I went out on a limb and did that video, Matt Maloney, CEO of GrubHub, was on CNBC, and he addressed the coronavirus and the industry. Not to stick a feather in my cap, but I'm going to, or my hat, actually. I'm going to brag a little because it shows that, I don't know, I had the foresight to release, something that was, could be controversial and may have been uncomfortable to a lot of people. And not to pat myself on the back, but it was nice to have a bit of justification for what I did. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm a loss for words today. Not a lot of sleep last night. I'm going to play the 5-minute video from the interview on CNBC from Matt Maloney, and we are going to talk about it. All right, I will see you on the other side of the video.
Could growing fears over coronavirus lead to more consumers staying home, and potentially this could be good for business, ordering in? We're going to talk about that and a lot more that's taking place in this sector. Joining us right now for first on CNBC interview is GrubHub CEO Matt Maloney. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Let's start with coronavirus because everybody's talking about it and trying to understand what it would mean. And there is conversation about certain types of companies that actually, oddly enough, could benefit in terms of people staying home and trying to get their food brought to them.
We'll see. I have no idea. I mean, coronavirus is a scary situation, and I believe the scientists, when they're talking about pandemics, I'm wiping down my airplane seat every time I fly. It hasn't impacted our business yet in the States. I mean, it hasn't really hit it that hard as of yet, but we are very much paying attention on a local level as to what could possibly happen and how it could impact our business. Do we have a problem with supply of drivers? Do we have a problem with supply of restaurants? Do we have a problem with demand? Like, how will it impact the different areas of our business? But no matter what happens, we're going to be all over.
To the extent that you have studied what's taken place in China and similar businesses like yours there, how has it worked?
It is very hard to draw analogies from China to the U.S. because it's a completely different market. The density is outrageous, whereas in the States, it's a different system of delivery and restaurants. So I would be very cautious to draw parallels between what's happening over there right now in a crisis situation and how that would impact the States. But we're paying attention on the ground to see how it's going to impact our restaurants, our diners.
Is there anything you're doing differently today?
Currently,
in terms of preparation, beyond sort of studying and looking at some of the numbers and things, what you would do?
We got all of our sensors up. We are paying a lot of attention, but we're not doing anything differently.
I didn't know if there's anything to do.
there's nothing to do right now
Right.
because the cases haven't. I mean, we're not at an epidemic in the U.S. yet.
Right. Would you imagine that prices would go up during this period?
I have no idea. Prices would be a function of supply and demand, depending on the food.
Well, I would think you'd have two issues. You'd have the restaurants, in terms of they might want to raise their prices because they might need to actually incentivize people to incentivize their staff to even show up. That could be an issue potentially. And you might have to actually try to incentivize drivers and delivery people to show up in the same way that surge pricing takes place on an Uber or something like that, when you actually need people to be in a particular area.
Sure, we don't have surge pricing right now.
I know you don't.
But absolutely, I have no idea how an epidemic is going to impact our business and how it impact our pricing, but that's exactly what we're paying attention to. If we don't have enough drivers, we have to figure out how do we get more drivers on the street.
Let's talk more broadly about the business you're in, but also your specific business. If you look at the chart that is up right now, you can see what happened in November. Tell us everything that's happened since then.
Absolutely. So in our third quarter, we issued a shareholder letter that reoriented the industry around the new reality. I mean, what was happening was there's too many competitors spending too much money, losing too much money. And so we pivoted our strategy to be aggressive on supply and aggressive on incentives. And that's exactly what we're doing today with the launch of our GrubHub Plus membership program. It is an order of magnitude more exciting than any other program that's out there. The free delivery is table stakes. That's what it is right now. And we have 10% cash back on top of that, which is really incredible.
What has to happen to the rest of the business? And I should note, by the way, the head of Uber Eats just stepped down yesterday.
Sure. Yeah, I saw that. Jason stepped down and a new guy came in. But what has to happen to the rest of the business?
What has to happen to the rest of the industry? What's going to happen to DoorDash? What's going to happen to Postmates? Do you have to buy them?
You guys are beating each other up right now, and you're offering prices that are probably too low to try and
None of this makes sense unless a couple of these guys consolidate, including probably, right?
Potentially. Now, we're in a position of strength because we're the only profitable company in the industry. And so we're able to lean into that profitability with incredible rewards and give 10% cash back and double the donations. And that's part of the membership program.
And is that an effort to put Postmates and DoorDash out of business?
I can't impact their viability as a business, but I can absolutely impact my competitiveness. And so what we're doing is we're leaning into our profits and stealing share at a time when everyone else in the industry is fighting to find break even. They're trying to battle back.
That's my question, though. Are you when you say leaning into your profits,
Yeah.
meaning you're willing to take lesser profits to try and consolidate market coverage? To,
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's the chart we just looked at. The stock drop was because we said we're taking our profitability from where it could be near 200 million a year down to 100 million a year, and we're taking those extra profits and we're using them hyper competitively, and we're trying to steal share. Because I talked a lot about promiscuous diners.
Yeah.
Diners
I love
check
that
out
phrase, by the
other
way.
platforms.
We're going to have to run, but were you looking to buy one of these other companies?
Am I looking to buy?
Yes.
We bought 10 companies in the past 10 years.
Right.
This is part of our growth strategy. So I'm very opportunistic this year about what we could do. I'm just trying to be as competitive as possible.
Which one do you worry about the most?
I think there are a lot of companies losing a lot of money, and the industry is ripe for consolidation.
Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen of all ages, there we are. Very interesting interview with Matt Maloney, huh? I wrote down some on my lovely whiteboard. Shout out to Carl Rove. I made some points here. I'm going to just go over them. I made 12 points from the video that some of you may have missed, some of you may not have missed. But since I'm old and decrepit and my mind is going, I made points so I could remember what they talked about. So number one, it could be more money. That's what he said. He wasn't Matt Maloney wasn't going to go on a limb and say it could. It was more money. It could be more money. He also made said it hasn't impacted the company yet, which is important. The key word there is yet. But he did say that all the sensors are up, meaning the company is paying very, very close attention what is going on and if they're going to have to make any changes on the daily operating procedures there at GrubHub. Number 4, he said he does not know if the prices will go up for food if this becomes a pandemic and many people stay home. I hope that doesn't happen. During crises, at least in America, that they have that price gouging law where if you price gouge on items during a natural disaster, a disaster of any kind, you will be once it's over, you will be held responsible in a court for price gouging. It's highly illegal. So I hope these companies do not price gouge. These restaurants price gouge. If it comes down to that, we shall see. He says, they asked if they incentivize will they incentivize drivers for, if this becomes an issue, if the drivers shortage. And he says, there is no surge pricing right now. He said, right now. Did you see that? I think that is huge. There is no surge pricing right now on the GrubHub platform. That is as people saying the game of poker, that is a tell. I think it's, big news out of this interview. No surge pricing right now, like they do on Lyft and Uber, dependent on supply and demand. So he left the door wide open for surge pricing. That's my opinion. He also made it very clear there are not enough drivers right now. There are roughly 60,000 drivers on the GrubHub platform, and DoorDash is 10 times bigger. They have last I checked about 700,000 drivers on DoorDash. But right now, Matt Maloney specifically said, he said it twice too, there are not enough drivers on his platform. What really irked me is when he started talking about the new GrubHub Plus, that the free delivery is simply table stakes. I think it was a slip up. What he meant to say is the free delivery is chump change to the company. I don't like that because that is the biggest factor, I think, personally, when it comes to tipping the driver. So if I discussed this in my video yesterday, if someone is paying for GrubHub Plus, that $10 a month for unlimited free delivery, a lot of times they're going to assume, well, since, I'm paying a monthly subscription, I should not have to pay the driver to, I should not have to tip the driver to deliver my food. So him saying it's table stakes is pretty insulting as a driver to me personally. Is it insulting to you? Another thing he said is, out of all the companies right now in the food delivery industry, GrubHub is the only profitable company, which I believe they made $200 million last year. Profit, not gross, profit. Let's see. They asked him if he was looking to buy. He said since GrubHub has been founded, they've bought 10 companies. And he's definitely, I think, left the door open for that. In the past, Matt Maloney said he wasn't interested in buying other companies, but we know that's not necessarily true. There's been rumblings about this in the industry that there might be some consolidation. And the last thing he said, which is very important, the industry is ripe for consolidation. Basically, he's saying that story went out that about a week ago that Uber and a few others were looking to merge, consolidate about a year ago, was actually not a rumor, but pretty much true. So my take from watching him is they are definitely looking to make a bigger stake again in the market with their percentage that they're being at only like 24% right now. And one way of doing that is buying out the competition and doing away with it. And that naturally, gives them a bigger stake in the company because less companies, more stake in the, more bigger share of the pie. And since they're the only profitable company, that says a ton, to me at least, that he is eyeballing other companies. And I would not be surprised if, GrubHub eyeballs Uber Eats and maybe Postmates and these other smaller companies to consolidate under the GrubHub umbrella. We shall see. Curious what you guys think about this. Do you, after watching the video, is it an eye-opener for you? It definitely was an eye-opener for me. What I always like to say is less is more. So what wasn't said speaks volumes to what was said. And I just had to put out a video, kind of, I hate to say it, everybody's not bragging, but again, putting a feather in my cap about, I'm the only channel in the gig economy that released this subject 3 days ago about the coronavirus possibly helping the gig economy industry, and I took a bunch of heat for it. Bit justified now doing this. Tell me what you guys think. As always, I appreciate you tuning in. If you appreciate videos like this, 2 appreciations today. Give me one of these bad boys here. As always, again, no tip, no trip. Put hashtag no tip, no trip in the chat if you're watching it. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think. If you think this was a very interesting interview, what do you think of Matt Maloney's responses to this? As always, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. The little snazzy red button is right there. And ring the doorbell when you subscribe. As always, I thank you for tuning in to this leap year day. Happy leap year day. Happy Saturday. God bless everybody. We will see you next time on the Delivery Driver Pit Stop, everybody. Bye-bye. Take care.